Hi everybody, this is Nel Thames with Auntie Nellie Stamps. Today I'm bringing you a quick tutorial for a simply stamped card using several stamp sets. The only reason I use several stamp sets is because I used sentiments from two different stamp sets, and then I used the autumn leaves. So here's the card and the envelope. This envelope has a cardstock flap, an embossed cardstock flap. We're going to use autumn leaves. We're going to use actually the leaves and this stem. And then from the textured floral, we're going to use the sentiment, "Every thought of you makes me smile." And from layering leaves, we're going to use the hello. So if you have other sentiments that, of course, will work with this, please use those if you don't have the ones that I have. We are going to use only 4 different colors of cardstock today. We're going to use Very Vanilla, Crumb Cake, Coastal Cabana, Berry Burst. All right, so let's get cutting. We're going to start and actually cut it. I don't usually cut on camera. I try to pre-cut, but today we're gonna do it from start to finish, so hopefully that will work. Let's see if I can get sometimes I can't get it totally in the camera with all this stuff I have on my desk. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And this, the PDF for this tutorial, well, I almost cut that in half. We didn't want to do that, did we? Using the light gray, this is your embossing or scoring. This is a cutting blade. So we're going to use the scoring blade, run it a couple of times through the cardstock. Hold the cardstock, excuse me, sorry about that. Then we're going to cut two 1/4-inch cuts. Now I'm not sure how long this one is. I can hear my dogs barking. That might be a problem. This one's not going to be long enough to use it twice. So I guess this is 8.5. Probably just could have figured that out just by looking at it. So we're going to cut 2 of those. And then we're going to cut a piece that is 2 1/4 by 6. And this is for the envelope flap. And then we're going to use the rest of this, or actually a scrap of this, for some die cutting. We'll hold off on that for now. So we'll put this over here. This is the other half. We're going to use this for some die cutting, so we'll put that also over here. For the Coastal Cabana, just 2. We could do it this way, and then we wouldn't have to cut it. If we cut it the 11-inch way, we wouldn't have to cut 2 necessarily. So 1/4 inch by 5.5 should be 2 equal pieces. We only actually need one of these, so at least one of these this color. All right, for the die cutting, and I am not quite sure if we're going to do this all on camera because it's a pretty big machine. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see. But we'll do what we can. Okay. So I'm using the, I think they're Dainty Floral dies. I think that's what they're called. I forgot to pull the thing out. Well, I'll have to put that in the comments. So this is plate number 1. This is plate number 2. And then there are 2 plate number 3s. Mine are a little bit on the warp side. I actually just replaced them. I just haven't brought out the replacements yet. So we're going to we'll start with the Berry Burst. And I want to take this swag piece. Now you could keep in mind, if you just have a scrap, we're not going to need that much of this swag, but I use it for other things if I don't use it for this. So a swag piece, a floral piece, or a flower piece. These are the centers for the flower. Hello, what's going on there? They're kind of caught together. And then I don't know what to call this. It's some sort of vegetation. I think I called it the stacked floral. So, you know, there we go. Now, I apologize, but I know that the table will move when I am die cutting. So I'm sorry about that. That's one good reason why I don't do it on camera. All right. So there are those colors, or the berry burst in for this one. Pull all this out, put it in my bin here. And we're going to do this for each color. These little things are okay. And then my stacked ones, for some reason, never really pops out. All right, so that's for the berry burst. I think we're going to have to cut this one. Just cut it down because it's not a full. So I just cut myself a 3-inch piece. And I'm going to cut the same things. Okay, I'm sorry, we're resuming the video. My husband came home in the middle, the dogs were barking, it was crazy. So I finished die cutting all of the pieces from the crumb cake. As you can see, this is the back piece of the sentiment, and then all of the die pieces, and then also from the Coastal Cabana. So now we're going to use the same plate that we used before, the 1 plate, and this is a number 4 plate. Okay, there you go. And this goes on top. So this is the Time Worn Type 3D. And you just make your sandwich. I put my cardstock in there already. I have 2 different colors. I have the nice pop at the end, lets you know you're done. So I used, you'll see that the tag is up here, and then the flap portion is here, and I use this line to generally line this up straight. This particular one, it's not like it has any actually words on it. It's just kind of gibberish, and it's texture. So I'm not sure that you can see that. You probably can't. So it's just texture. So that is not, it's not necessary to have it completely straight. Ooh. And everything goes all askew when we do that. All right. So first we're going to adhere the Coastal Cabana strip. And you can use, if you use grid paper, you can use your grid paper to line this up. This would be at about an inch. We actually want it over a little bit further. I think we're going to go right about here because we have another one that's coming in on this side. So I'll get my green glue, and it's a little bit, it's new. So it is, I'm not even pressing on it, it's coming out like that. And of course, I store it upside down, so this is, this right now is the reason that people don't like green glue is because it is sticky if it overexerts itself, if it gushes out like it just did. So since we're going to go have stuff on either side, we're not too concerned about that. We're going to put, now I'm going to put this green glue, I'm going to be live daring. Oh, no, I'm not. What is going on with that? Let's try a different one. That's a little too squishy for me today. Oh, this one's brand new. They're both brand new, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to run a light, if I can, light line, just basically, there we go. Kind of split it right next to this one here, and then I'm going to do the same over here. I don't know if you've ever heard this technique. I heard it from Melissa Kerman with, I think it's Melissa's Stamping Treehouse or Melissa's Treehouse. And you can let that dry and just become tacky, so it's no longer white. You can put your glue on and then let it become dry, let it dry on, and it will be tacky and it won't squish out. But it stays tacky forever, I think. Okay. If I could find it, and I can't put my hands on it. Oh, there it is. Because I got some glue on the top, I'm just gonna rub the embossing buddy over the top. And then you can cut this off with your just with your trimmer. There's that side, and then we'll just do this side. It's always hard for me to judge where the actual middle of the trimmer is going to be. So you see I got it off just a little bit. I wouldn't do that if you have glue on your strips, because then the glue gets on your thing. So now you'll see that this card is can go this way, it can go this way, so it can go either way. We're going to take all my stamps are stuck together because I stacked them on top of each other. We're going to use the autumn leaves. Oh my goodness. These are the clear ones, and they are sticky today. We're going to start with the maple leaf and some crumb cake ink. If you do not like to get your fancy grid paper inky, you're going to want an extra piece of paper. I don't care one way or the other, but for right now, since I got it out, since I was talking about it, we'll get it out and we'll talk about it and we'll do it. So the first thing I do when I get this stamp out and I'm looking at this, I'm going to decide, here's for stamp number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3. Number 3 is just not going to work at all. Number 1 is a little bit too dark in my opinion, so we're going to do 3, and I do not know why. Oh, I know why. Put that underneath there, and that should be better. All right, so this big one is hard for me to hold. It's just that much too wide for my hand, but you can always stamp it. So stamp off once, and it doesn't matter, these extra or areas where it didn't stamp well, for this purpose does not matter. So I'm just going to place this anywhere in this upperish area, give it a good rub, and all I want is just an image of a leaf, so it's not crucial because we're going to cover much of that up. So again, we're going to stamp off, and then I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to bring this one tilted this way, and rub just a little bit. Okay, and then the oak leaf, I had to look these up. This one first, I'm sure is oak. Whoops, I just stuck my fingers in the crumb cake. Don't we all do that? Okay, and I want, again, the second generation of the stamp. So stamp off once. Oops, this one, I want another piece of paper so I don't stamp on my strips. And I think these strips are a little bit closer than the sample card I showed you. There. So the leaves are not going in the exact same place. And I do not know what these are called. I keep calling them these small pointy leaves. I think they could be dogwood. I don't know. I am not anywhere near a botanist. Or isn't it an arborist for trees? I don't know. All right, now this one, I'm gonna move a little bit more of the leaf on the card than I did for my sample. So you'll see that, and then there's a little spot down here that has some area, so we're just going to come in right here. I'm going to even ink it up only partially. I'm going to get my piece of paper back. I was working with Halloween with this piece of paper. I don't throw them away unless they're really, really inky, because they're still useful. Okay, there we go. I just want to and just some stamping in the background, making our own DSP, as it were. All right, so that is that. We're going to put these off to the side because we're done with them for now. All right, we have, let me show you the dies that I use. These are the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I used this one that is the largest of the group, and this one that is the next one down, and it fits right in it perfectly. So those are the dies that I used for that piece. I'm missing, I put it up here. It is. Okay. So here is my, it's going to fit right in here. I'm calling this the top sentiment layer and this the bottom sentiment layer. So we're going to move this off to the side because we don't need it right quite yet. We're going to work on something else. All right, we're going to bring in our little tray of fun stuff. And first we are going to use the Hello stamp from the Layering Leaves, I think. Now, I'm never sure I'm going to get it on the first try. You know, I mean, I've heard it more than once. I'm sure you have too. That's why there's two sides to paper, right? I'm not pushing too hard. I'm rubbing it just to make sure it all touches. I have, because especially since I moved my mat out from underneath there. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. And we'll come back to this stamp pad a little bit later. So now we are going to build our cluster. And I'm going to put this over here for reference so that I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, I'm looking for this piece of the top here. All right, so I'm pretty sure yeah, you can't actually see it, but there's a little leaf right in here that kind of hangs over. So I'm going to cut this. Just going to cut it back here because that's what I need, and I'll put this off to the side, and then we'll put this over here. Now I called this little guy this, I think a stacked flower or something, or I don't know what I called it, but I did have no idea what it is. So it's probably just leaves of some sort. And I just push this one over here, like such. Let's put this back here so we can see how it looks on top of the backing. There we go. All right, and we're just going to put this in here and move it around until we like it. Since I know where it's going to go, we're probably just going to start adhering pretty soon. But we'll play around with it for just a little bit to make sure it's, Lord, we're having a hard time picking that up. All right, so that, and then same thing with this one. We're going to put a piece of this down here, and we know for sure we don't need the whole, I should have just cut my snips out, huh? That we're not going to need the whole thing. So we'll cut that off and put it off to the side. And we're going to put this in here. I am going to move this over just a little bit. I liked it. It was a little on the far side of the edge for me. But I had already adhered it, so that's where it stayed. It's harder to do than it looks. It keeps getting caught. There we go. Let's pull this out. Stack them on top of each other, start there. There we go. And then we're just going to put this here. Okay. And then we're going to have one of each colored flower. So here we go. The upside is the side that has the upside is the side that has the embossing on the top, so you can feel it. You can feel the divots. And we're going to match a center to it. And let's see, where's my centers? And the center is also the dotted inside. Yep, that's that one. And then this Take Your Pick tool it's really a dream because you know, I can't always pick up the little stuff. I don't have any nails, and So yeah, I don't have any nails and it's just hard to pick it up. So now we're going to put this one right here, and this one we're going to put on a dimensional. We're going to move this over because it's right at the corner there. This one we're going to put on a dimensional and pop it up. And then this one we're going to put right here. All right, so that's where that's going to go. So now let's get it put together, shall we? Okay. Okay, we're going to try to trust this one again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, it's just literally just coming out like crazy. So I think we'll just, there we go. There's a little air bubble in there apparently. I think if I open up the back side, I think that air bubble will go away, but I'm not going to do that right this minute. So I'm just using it the way it is. Just put it on and take a little piece, take a little dot of glue. It's working for me right now. So, all right, we're going to do the same thing here. Let's glue these kind of on top of each other. One of the things, the nice things about green glue is that it is a little bit forgiving in terms of, you know, if you don't like it exactly the way you put it, you can move it. So we'll put a little dot of green glue here. But the downfall is that you do need to hold it for a little bit. So we'll just hold that there, and we'll put some green glue up here. See, now it doesn't want to come out at all. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy glue today. I'll put this one up like this. And this one over here, I like it with this leaf sticking out. Sticking over the edge. Oops, hello. Apparently I didn't hold it long enough. It's probably because I need more glue. Okay, so just like this. All right. So the only problem with using green glue is that I can't set it down now because it's a little sticky on the, oh yes I can. Where's my silicone mix? Well, I had it. You know how it is. Can't find it, don't know what I did with it. It's probably will appear as soon as you all are gone. All right, we're going to try this one. I'm not sure this is the silicone one, but we're going to try it anyway. This is probably the one that I was supposed to stamp on instead. I know the silicone one is thinner, I just can't seem to put my hands on it. So we'll use this one for now so I can at least set it down. All right, so a little dot of glue here. And before I put this on, I'm going to curl these up a little bit, just kind of run my fingers along them or use a bone folder. They're a little bit small, so a bone folder is really not necessary. But all I'm going to do is kind of puff them up just a tish. So they're not laying flat on the, and that helps with the sentiment, so the sentiment is not in the way, or the leaf is not in on the sentiment. Okay, then we need the mini, here they are. I'm not the white, not the black ones. I'm not sure why I pulled that one out. There's, because the mini is right here. All right, we're going to use a white mini dimensional. Put it right in the middle of this berry burst. Take our backing off that you couldn't see any of that. Sorry about that. So it's right in the middle of the bottom. We're going to push these up just a little bit. And then we're still on the edge of the, we're going to push this down. And then this one goes somewhere over here, kind of on the edge, even on the top edge. There we go. Someone says, and I wish I could remember who it is. It's not somebody I watch regularly, but I have seen several of her videos recently. If you can see it, meaning the glue, if you can see it, it's enough. And I think that is so good because it's true. I really do not need a ton of glue. And I know that this hides this just a little bit, but that's okay. It's, it's all about making it fit. Now, I did not know that there were that cutting your dimensionals in half was a thing until recently, and I love it because it gives me twice as many dimensionals. So, and of course, don't forget to use your edges because your edges are just as good as your centers. I'm using edges here, and I do put a lot of dimensionals on. This one probably doesn't need quite this many. It's kind of how it went. I think I just poked right through that. I did. We're going to ignore that. I have to figure out what I did there. Okay, it's fine. It probably is the pokey pad. That's why it went right through it. I have to be careful. I'm not great at taking the dimensions off, again, because I don't have nails. I'm not great at taking the dimensionals off with my fingers. And this Take Your Pick tool is just awesome for that. But you really gotta stick it in there and pull it off. Right. And then, it would be nice if we would save a little, whoops. So we're just gonna center this on here. All right. And then we're going to grab our card. We're going to put this, now you could make a decision to put it right here as well, because, or here in that way. Maybe we should today. Maybe we should do it that way today because we did it the other way last time, because I did it the other way last time. I kind of like it here. All right, more dimensionals because they're so fun. So here I have some of my, I don't usually completely cut them off in strips. But I didn't initially. I have been doing so lately. And it's nice, except I have a tendency, I think, then to lose more strips of dimensionals because, you know, it's not too hard to lose dimensionals in my world. All right. So for this card, I think that is it's a piece of the cardstock. It is not ink or anything that I did. It is just a piece of the cardstock. So I actually lined my focal point up. Boy, my desk is looking really messy, and you get to see all the mess. With this edge right here, I just put the straight edge kind of right in there, and then put my focal point in. And so I started to say this card is made with a specific recipient in mind, and because of that, that's where the use of all those sentiments came from. Before we get off of this, let's put some jewels. Let's make it jewelry. We're going to put 3 because that's what we do. I suppose we could put 1 just right there, but I like 3, and so we're going to put 3. And I put them in a triangular pattern, and it doesn't matter what kind of triangle it is. I'm not good at knowing the kinds of triangles, but you'll see that there's a triangle here. And so that is the front of our card. Now we're going to use I think I might have used the one that I cut for, well, we're just going to cut another one instead of spending some time looking for it. I might have used it for the die cutting without paying attention. So for the inside layer, 5 1/4 by 4 of Very Vanilla. All right, we're going to stamp first. We've already done our hello. We're going to do, there we go. I have to make sure it's right side up. This is very crooked. We're going to put Every Thought of You Makes Me Smile. I've used it once, but I still want to kind of brush it a little bit with my hands, get off whatever oils and whatnot might be still on there from production. So we're going to put it, it's a little bit hard because I try to be right over it when I stamp. There we go. I think that should be, let's hope that's straight. There's that. All right. And now we're going to use what I call the splatter. And this is also, I'm sorry, this is from the Textured Floral. I think it's Textured Floral. There's so many beautiful names of things, and I just never can remember them, especially when they're new and I haven't used them all the time. Yeah, it is the Textured Floral. Or new to me, not even new, just new to me. Okay, so I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp on here. And it's just about texture. It's not about making a specific pattern, just about texture. All right, that's that. And now I need to clean this. I'm going to use my chamois to clean these little maybe dogwood leaves. I don't know what they are. I don't know, these little double toothy leaves. I did read a little bit about leaves and about how, and about their toothiness, and serrated edges, and there's it falling over here as I get another piece of paper out. All right, so my recollection is that I stamped off twice with this one. See these dimensionals? They get everywhere. That I stamp off twice. So I'm going to do that and we'll see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I really want this lighter one. So we're going to do that again. 1, 2, and then 3 is going to be right here. I don't always want the whole stamp especially in the corners and on my envelopes. So that's kind of what that is. I just, wherever I put it, and then we can just stamp, because it's just a decorative corner. It's not like we need to know what the stamp, looks like. I use full strength crumb cake for the veins. There we go. And so that's my interior. And we're going to grab the card, close this up, because otherwise I'm going to put my entire hand in there, and all of this work will be for naught, because we will not be able to salvage that card. I'm going to use some seal on the back. I do go around all the way around the edges. I know there are others that don't, but I choose to go around all the edges. I am not great at lining things up, but I do my best. I try to put it in the corner first and just kind of match up where I want it there and hope that it's straight. So there we go. That is straight. And that's the card. So the card is done. All right. And now let's look at the envelope. So I have to admit, I'm using an envelope that got a little glue on it. Don't care, because I'm going to cover it up with my Berry Burst texture embossed cardstock. I always make a little picture in there. Don't know why, it just is what it is. I use glue on this one. Glue is actually my favorite adhesive of choice. I know not everybody does. So, and then I use snips. To cut around it. This is one of the easiest ways to dress up an envelope, because we don't send out any naked envelope, or any naked envelopes. Just like no naked interiors, no naked envelopes. I also think with the interior, sometimes if you just want to send a card and you just don't know what to say, especially with sympathy cards, you just don't know what to say. I think sometimes just the larger sentiments help a little bit, because there's not as much room to write. And you can just say, how sorry you are. So we're looking at the envelope, and here's what we did with the envelope. Really simple, just the Coastal Cabana oak leaf, which I have to clean off on my chamois as well. My chamois is filthy. Do you have one of these? I love it. I love how thick it is. I love how fast it cleans. I like this just water. But, but I just put it in the sink and I'm squeezing it out and there's no ink coming out, so it's cleanish. It just clearly does not look cleanish. I store it in a stamp case, but you have to be careful because you don't want it to be sealed completely closed. I actually leave it open. I just store it in the stamp case. So which one do we think? I think I used number 2 because they can get musty smelling. Yeah, number 2. So I just, I leave it in there and I leave the edges open. 1. And then number 2 is going to go on here in a jaunty fashion so that, we don't want to give it all away. There we go. Excuse me. And then one more step, crumb cake, full strength full strength veins, but that is the wrong vein. Ooh, that could have been disastrous. All right, we are going to use this vein. Here, I thought I was so prepared. Honestly, if you could see my desk right now, you'd be, well, you can't see much of it. You could see it all. You'd be, how are you working in that area? Okay, I'm never concerned about getting it exactly right, although you should be able to. It's clear, but especially when in this angle, it's hard for me to look over and see what I'm doing. So, pretty sure this is the card we just made. It looks just like the other one. So this is a card. We did a great job. It didn't take us too long, about 35 minutes with cutting and everything. But if you're doing a bunch of them, you just cut them off and leave them here, and then you go through and make it together. So I appreciate you joining me. Again, my name is Nel Thames with Auntie Nellie Stamps. You can visit my blog. This will be on my blog. Should be on my blog now, along with a PDF that you can print of instructions. If you are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you could use my host code, if you go onto my website, auntienelliestamps.com, and just click on the Shop With Me button, it'll already have the host code loaded, so you don't even need to remember it. But if you do need to remember it, and this says the 15th, but it'll be good till the 31st, MFFQMCYE. So use that at either auntienelliestamps.com and then click the Shop With Me link, or you can go to directly to my Stampin' Up! Website, which is nthames, THAMES, .stampinup.net, N-E-T. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. That helps me a ton. Please share my video with your crafty friends, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for watching. This is Auntie Nellie stamping off.